Welcome everyone to this wonderful event. I'm really hyped and I'm very happy. And without wasting more time, I go straight to the tech stuff. The talk is about a very, very fancy feature. Latest feature is still in developer preview. It is incremental hydration in Angular. And it is so far the most advanced loading, splitting hydration tool that we have in frameworks on the market. And I want to do a little bit of an overview and of course then diving deep into what it really can do for you. As an overview, I want to help you to understand the process. For me, whenever something is very, like only one unit, I cannot really think a lot about one unit, so I made like multiple units out of it. I have a breakdown of how the hydration process works. As it is a performance feature, I want to talk about the impact of it. Then we will go deep. I want to show you what event replay is. I want to show you how the component state is hydrated. And in the end, we will discuss a little bit of, after the live coding, a little bit of what patterns can you use to hydrate your application. While it's loading, I hydrate myself. What else should you do while the app is loading? And as server-side rendering and therefore also incremental hydration is impacting especially the loading speed, that's the time that it takes or while you wait until you really see for what you are here. I tried to make it a little bit more approachable, a little bit more real life on how the metrics and the user impact will feel and will look like. And when you start to enter a URL in your browser and you hit enter, normally you're very, very excited, like I am. And I stay very excited at least for the first 300 milliseconds. Then I'm impatient, I admit it, and after a couple of milliseconds, I'm already starting the coffee countdown, right? If it's not showing up right now, I go and get a coffee. No time for that. After that, I'm already done with it. I'm like starting to leave the computer. I'm like, fox it, I don't consume that website. And after the website finally is loaded, I'm already in rage mode. So maybe not as over-exaggregated as here, but I believe many people feel the same. And therefore, we need the feature. So unhappy user is not only really annoying feeling inside of you, but it definitely and for sure as a fact will cost you money. Not sure how it is with you, but I don't want to lose that. I want to have my users happy. My name is Michael. I'm working at Push-based, very happy member of that company. I have, of course, a strong focus on performance, but also architecture and scalability, especially with NX. That's it for the intro. Maybe let me mention that Push-based is certified partner of NX. We are extremely proud of it, and a couple of our members are either NX champion or NX expert, and we really, really love the tool and all the people there. Enough of the introduction. Let me quickly show you what I'm not talking about. So a couple of versions ago, Angular's server-side rendered part looked like this. You have the first really beautiful, nice first paint, and then you see a white screen, everything gets wiped away from your screen, the DOM is deleted, Angular reboots from zero, and then it rebuilds the DOM from zero. That was a noticeable impact, was not really nice, and you had no chance to work around that. In comparison, 2 versions ago, Angular shipped real hydration, and 3 versions ago. And you already see there is no DOM destruction anymore. So hydration really means taking over existing DOM and reusing that later on instead of throwing it away and restarting from scratch. Let's understand the most complicated part of the feature, how to configure it. As you maybe realized in the recent releases of Angular, everything starts to get more and more complicated. I'm just kidding. Let me show you how easy it is. How easy it is to do that. You use provide client hydration. That's it. And then you could put with event replay there, and you would already have full hydration, full non-destructive or real hydration. And if you like, and you want to try out the latest pre-release feature, you can also add with incremental hydration. And if you add that line, you could literally get rid of the with event replay because it is intrinsically included in the with incremental hydration provider. So that's how complicated and cumbersome it is to configure incremental hydration in Angular. It's one single line. Whew, that was the hardest part. Now let's go on with hydration breakdown. That's not funny. The first part starts not on your browser and not on your server. It starts when you build your application, because if you enable server-side rendering, also your build will slightly adjust and will automatically in the background, without you even noticing it, start two different bundles. One for the client side, one for the server side. The rendering here in the second part is done in Node. Node will kick in, will take the bundle, will execute the JavaScript on the browser, and then will create a string that contains HTML. And this string, this HTML string is either directly or with some enrichment sent to the client. So that was the first part of my hydration breakdown. The second one is about rendering. So on your client, you have to consume this index.html site and you need to parse it. And already when parsing your HTML site, you can do stuff very well or very not well. There are many, many different edge cases that you normally would have to consider and know and learn a lot about it. Angular knows it already, does it automatically for you, and not even this. If you do something wrong, most probably it has a validation issue and it will print in the console that you forgot to do this or that, and it will really proactively inform you how to use that, and that is extremely convenient because that also reduces a lot of learning and mental model from all the developers. So after that, rendering kicks in, the browser needs to display the DOM nodes, and after the DOM nodes are displayed and you really see the application, the unhydrated application, you need to fetch the JavaScript, execute the JavaScript, and then Angular would do its magic. What will Angular do? It will, after the JavaScript kicks in, start the bootstrap phase of Angular. Angular will do its normal bootstrapping, and after that is done, it will reach for the existing DOM nodes in the browser and will take them over and add all the event listeners to them. If, and that's really cool, you interacted with your page while that process is ongoing, normally all your interactions are lost. And it's very bad and very sad, but luckily Angular has us covered, and they shipped, I showed it before, event replay. So all your events will be covered, queued up, and when Angular has all the JavaScript and is able to execute, it will also replay all user interactions on the hydrated DOM. So 3 different phases: build and transfer, render, and hydration. And this is how I try to build up my mental model on the Angular hydration feature. What exactly is happening? I mentioned already a little bit. When our application is built, it automatically will include a little bit a snippet of JavaScript that is our event replay logic. I will go in depth with that. That's new in all the steps. Then it will add the hydration markers. That is also new. You see like the bold things. I only want to talk about stuff that really got released recently. On the rendering part, there's not that much new stuff, but the transfer state that now also includes the state of your incrementally hydrated components. Of course, there is stuff that Angular did already, critical CSS inlining, a wonderful, beautiful feature. And you could already pre-render with Angular, but with the latest features, it is not only very, very easy or way more easy, it also includes a couple of nice helper functions. So if you would want to pre-render a paginated page, you can also pre-render every single page of that paginated page. In the second part, DOM parsing and that stuff stays the same. What is new in the render and load part is definitely the initialization of this event replay and record feature. And in the hydration phase, the interesting parts are that we take over the DOM, don't throw that away, start the event replay, record that stuff, and then when incremental hydration kicks in, we would replay the events there, just that you have also a little bit more text to all the nice images. That was the breakdown. I want to talk a little bit about how all those features landed. I'm not sure if you follow closely or as close as Enea what Angular releases. We do it partially. We are like all infected by Enea's research and digging into the PRs. And I want to point out how beautiful Angular's release strategy is, because they knew that already versions ahead what they will do, and in a very, very smart and non-breaking and easy way, they shipped the features in the right order, and every single release, they unlocked small, tiny steps in that direction, and I, for myself, believe that's beautiful. I learned a lot from watching the releases, and I'm sure if you dig in a little bit how they release, what they release, in which order, you will also be able to learn a lot. Just impressive how they do it. Thank you. I like the image. I put it here again if someone wants to picture it. Also give myself a chance to have another sip of water. And then I go on. It's a mantra. Don't guess measure. That is what I tell myself every single day when I wake up in the morning. And I'm like, what a terrible day. I'm not, hey, don't guess it will be a terrible day. Measure it. So I try to also include that in my private practice. But sometimes, as you know, I take the wrong turn. So I want to use it. Funny, huh? I want to use it for one moment to talk a little bit about what this feature will impact. It will impact all three core web vitals, but I believe the biggest benefit is in LCP and then especially INP, because we don't have to load and bootstrap the whole application. We can do that step by step. Let's start with the SSR impact. So when we build the application and we transfer that to the browser, it is already rendered HTML, a finished website that also includes all the state of the application. And LCP is, when you look at it, a process of a couple of different steps. You start the initial request and then you have the time to first byte. You maybe saw that symbol already before in the transfer and build step. Then we consume the website, and this is where LCP really gets interesting. The browser starts to track what elements will pop up on your screen, and it will start to track them and name them, like based on their size, as candidate. If the H1 pops up and nothing else is on your site, H1 will be your first LCP candidate. Afterwards, more bigger text pops up, it will say, H1 is not interesting anymore, I have a better LCP candidate. It will take the text block, and afterwards, if you maybe render an image that is even bigger, even more important for the user, it will also throw away the text block and will say, the image most probably is the best LCP candidate. After that, your browser will idle out, and that's the moment where the tool can say, I know which of the candidates is the real LCP candidate, and it will name you this element, will highlight it for you, and you will see what is the biggest element on screen, rendered on screen, visible. The second impact that incremental hydration will increase, or at least what we measure every single day when we use that feature, is INP interaction to next paint. Already with Defer, we had a chance to load chunk, preload couple of parts or different parts of the application, either right before we click on it, when our browser was idle, or at a specified time. But it was not working with unhydrated DOM, so you would always have to put a placeholder, and this placeholder would then get flipped over and replaced with some real DOM. It took some time to load the JavaScript, it took some time to execute all those JavaScript files, and now with incremental hydration, it is way less time to execute the JavaScript and way less time that the user really can interact with the page. How does interaction to next paint work? So we start from the moment where the user clicks any part of your interface, and this moment in time could be when your browser is still processing previous work, right? Browser is still busy and you click somewhere, so your click, your input could have a little bit of a delay until the browser is ready. After the browser is ready, it will kick in, it will replay, or it will apply the click event, fire the click event, and then starts to process whatever your event handler is doing. And after that, it will give the browser time to render, layout, and paint the application. And after this is done, your next frame is presented, and that's the moment in time where INP finishes, and it says, like, okay, from your first interaction until the frame is presented, this is the time it took you to get the next paint, from your interaction to your next paint. INP, interaction to next paint. It's a little bit more complicated because it will always take the worst metrics of all of your interactions. So if you have only good interactions and then one single one that takes 5 seconds, you are screwed because it will take the 5 seconds one. If you have multiple of bad interactions, it will drop every 5th bad interaction, but other than this, you will stick with the worst value. So it's pretty motivating to fix that issues. Good. The last metric is CLS. It will also get impacted because you don't need a placeholder anymore that could have slight shifts. You will keep the DOM as it is and just add your event listeners, and that is really, really amazing. But it has not such a massive impact as LCP and IMP, so I left it out. Now to the hydration part. How does that work? We have two major libs or blocks. We have on the one side event replay, and on the other side we have the hydration part. So let me start with something hopefully new for you. How many of you know JS Action, a library? I see many hands. I can count them on one hand, like 4 hands up. Amazing. That means nearly everyone will learn something. Let's try it in a different way. Let's try to ask how many of you ever used Google Search? Everyone. Okay, let me tell you how JS Action comes into play. It's a lib, a small helper lib from a framework that no one knows. Inside of Google, there's a framework that's called Wiz. Also, Google product Angular is an open source outside product, and they try to merge those two products. Angular made for large scalable applications, Wiz made for high performance application like the Google search bar, and they internally want to merge efforts and try to reuse all of the good parts, incremental hydration, event replay, all concepts that Wiz is owning to a certain degree. The proof that it is also working in the Google search bar, you see that here. And now let's see what event record and replay can do for us now that you know what the library name is called. So first we have the event recording, and the problem here is, think about it, how will you be able to listen to an event if you have no JavaScript? Because normally you have like an attribute that is the event name, and then you have as a value the JavaScript handler, event handler that is registered to that event. Well, if you don't have JavaScript, the browser still will recognize clicks on the elements, you just have no real listener. So what they did is they replaced the event name with an attribute that's called JS Action, And in the JS action, they had values, the event name and the handler name. The Viz framework is lazily loading, or let's say chunking the application based on event handlers that is not given in Angular. So in Angular, we don't need the event handler name, and we can straight away use only JS actions and then the event name. So with this in your DOM, you can click on that element without JavaScript enables, the event will fire, will bubble up the DOM hierarchy, and at the very top, you have an injected snippet, the snippet that I showed you before, that has one single event listener listening to your body, and obviously events bubble up, so the body at some point will receive this click here. It will look for the attribute JS action, will spot the attribute, will go to the value, and will say, aha, that one, if the trigger of it was a click event, I have to record it and then replay it later based on that element. So now the full circle, we add our JS action snippet to our HTML. We add the JavaScript handler. We add all the markers to our DOM. Then we add this one single global event listener to our page. All markers are in. I click on one of those elements, and then this event ends up in a queue, in an array, and gets recorded until my app really bootstraps. I can demo that. I just need to be sure that the right app is open. I see it is not. I will not demo that now. I will straight away jump to the next page and figure out in my head later on how I can bootstrap the app without wasting your time. And I will show you what DOM snippet is placed at the very bottom of the page. At the very bottom of the page, you have a little bit of script that is a big JSON object that contains the hydration state of your initial full hydration, the hydration state of your incrementally hydrated components, and for every component, the name and then the state. For example, if we have a dark mode toggle, you have is dark and then true or false as a value. In real life, it looks a little bit different. It is not as nicely to read, but still it's here. You can open up your bundle, you can look at it, and you will try to make sense of it. If you wonder how it's implemented and in which PR the implementation lives, you can ask Enea, he will tell you the PR number on spot. And you also need markers, right? You have this JSON structure at the bottom with all the data, but you don't know to which element the data belongs to, so you need to mark every single component that will get incrementally hydrated with a flag. I call that the hydration marker. I'm not sure if that's the correct term, but I just made it up. And then it has an ID. So you know all the components, the component ID, and then you can map that to the big JSON object. And then you would be able to start your application. You add this JS state to your application. Everything is asleep still. And if you interact now with one of your components, you will go down. You will first fetch the JavaScript, and you will go down to the bottom, grab this JSON object, and then add the data to your DOM element. And we now know that our dark mode toggle has the ID 0. I will go to the JSON object, look for ID 0, and then I apply the state. In this case, my dark mode is true. Very wonderful thing. Now, the next slide says live demo again, and now I will have to waste 30 seconds of your time to bootstrap the right application. Let me not embarrass myself too much, and hopefully I'm quick. I will pick this one here, and I hope that it's the right version. Here we go. It doesn't look good. Okay, I need another one. Sorry. How terrible. This looks better. NG serve. Yes. It's not funny. Yeah, maybe a little bit. Okay, wonderful. Whew, now I'm a little bit more relaxed. I have something that I can show you. Let me turn off JavaScript and reload the page, and you will see ears. You will see ears and sleeping icons. Not those ears, you will see normal ears. And an ear means that there is an event listener, JS action marker, and I can capture those events and replay them later. And then you will have these sleeping icons, and that are unhydrated components with state markers on it. I will start to turn on JavaScript again. You see the left part is not hydrated, and if I would click on one of those links here, you will see the ears disappear. Click, ears disappeared. Here I can show you the same. Click, ears disappeared. So you see, I can record the clicks and then I can replay them. And I also want to go to a partially hydrated application and show you that the sleeping icons are here, even if I click, sorry, that was the wrong one. Even I click on another page of part of the page. Refresh, yeah. Sleeping icons are here. I click the toggle button and you see the JavaScript is working. I can toggle my theming, but the rest of the page is still asleep. Good. How is the last part of this thing going? I have to speed up a little bit. Event replay. I have my event queue. I know which content was clicked. I take this element, bootstrap my application, hydrate the DOM, add the event listeners, and then I replay all the recorded events in the right order. And that is one of the last demos that I can show for today. So I showed you that full hydration, non-incremental hydration was working. I showed you that if I interact with parts of the page, other parts still stays unhydrated. Now I will move my cursor. I will remove all the code here from my requests, and I will move my mouse to this like button so that I can favorite or like this movie, and I will click it now. And you see, the heart turned red. That means the click was recorded and replayed, and you also see on the left side that I was fetching a JavaScript bundle that was called movie list component. So the whole movie list component was on the fly, loaded, added, executed, hydrated, and then I replayed my click event on the real Angular component. One there full. There are a couple of other things that you can do, and let me show you how you can implement hydration on a component. I will zoom in, that's it. It's done over the defer block. You put hydrate, and then you can choose of a couple of different timers when exactly you want to start the hydration. Here I did it on interaction, so when I clicked with my mouse on that elements, I started to hydrate them. You can obviously also put other ones. You even can put a timer. You can combine that with the defer feature preload, on which moment in time you want to preload it. But something really, really cool you can also do, you could hydrate never. And when you hydrate never, and you execute that page again, where is my demo, and I refresh that, and I would click. Normally it should not hydrate. Let me, wow. Let me understand where I have the mistake here. The fuck? So, I don't know. I will figure it out afterwards. Huh?
It's on the navigation stuff.
It's on the navigation, you're right. But the navigation should not work. Yeah, let me remove that here. I'm anyway over time, and add it to the component, and show you that last time, and then I wrap up. Here's my list component. No. pre-rendering. Here we go. So here I can put, sorry for the confusion, here I can put never, and now it will work. Please, demo God, be with me. I clicked it, and it's not working. We are here on a meetup, so please stop swearing in front of the camera. Let me show you what you could do. You could hydrate it on idle, interaction, or never. It will work, believe me, it's not working on my machine, but it will work on your machine. You can save a lot of JavaScript or save a lot of anger from your users if you do that. As my time is also over, I will switch again to this beautiful image. I don't know if you want to picture it or not. You can if you like. I don't know if you should. What I can say is optimized applications are very efficient. Your users will love you, especially when they have a little data plan or when the internet is not so good. They definitely feel it. Just wanted to point that out in the end. I love this event and I hope you will have a lot of fun. Thank you.